Dear Jewel, I left you with a few things to always hold on to. Loyalty, elusiveness, and brute force.
Season 6 of Game of Thrones lives on in our hearts, but there are a few characters that have long left the world of the living. Deaths are a huge part of the Game of Thrones experience. Some are expected, while some are not. Some bring us pain, while others bring us a kind of morbid joy. But over 6 seasons, HBO sure have got good at them. These are the 6 best deaths of Game of Thrones Season 6. Episode 1 kicked off with a pretty heavy death. After the coup of Dawn, the murder of Doran Martell, and the assassination of Princess Marcella in Season 5, the Sand Snakes Obara and Nymeria Sand ambush the prince on his barge as he busies himself painting some pebbles. While he gets to choose how he dies, he should have kept his wits about him, because unfortunately, he's the first gruesome death of the season. The tip of Obara's spear exploding from the young prince's face as he turns to face Nymeria, left to bleed on the floor as the sisters swap their awkward banter on the way out.
You're a greedy bitch, you know that?
We've been hoping these two traitors bite the bullet ever since they muttered, "For the watch," as they plunged their knives deep into our beloved Jon Snow. Well, I'm sure they didn't expect the young Lord Commander to rise from the dead and hold them accountable for their crimes. That little shit Ollie, Thorne, and the other traitors are seen noosed and ready to be hung by the neck until dead. Now, this may not be that gruesome, but you've got to hand it to the makeup department for their depiction of hanged men. Truly unsettling. Out of all the deaths on this list, this is probably the one that was most intense. After learning of Hodor's old self, before he became the simple giant that shepherds Bran through the unwelcoming north, he's suddenly snatched away from us during his final, noble deed. Saving Bran from one of his many bloody screw-ups, Hodor takes scratches and bites and holds back a wave of the Night King's undead army, but he did his job. He held that door, and now, he holds our hearts. The Lord of the most northern house of Westeros was adamant that he loved to fight wildlings. He's been doing it all his life. Well, if that's the case, then maybe he should have learned not to let his guard down. During the Battle of the Bastards, it wasn't looking good for Tormund, even taking a few headbutts once the warriors had become squashed together. But as soon as Smalljon looks towards the arriving Knights of the Vale, he gets a big old chunk bitten out of his throat. Then again, I'm sure wildlings have eaten worse. Walder Frey was a disgusting man, so it's only right that his last meal was as foul as he was. We've seen people get their throat cut on the show before, sure, but we've never seen a gross old man eat a pie made from the flesh of his 2 sons. The mixture of him slowly realizing the ingredients of his pie, the panic on his face as he knows he's about to die, and the look of glee on Arya's face as he bleeds out all over himself and his dinner made many viewers wince. On the other hand, he's a horrible old codger who made the Red Wedding happen, so to hell with him. Ramsay's death was one we've wanted for a long time. He's been the target of much fan hatred, and deservedly so. Out of all the evil characters, out of all their evil acts, I think he's definitely top of the rankings. From chopping up sausage and feeding newborn babies to dogs, to flaying anyone in his path, this despicable Warden of the North seemed untouchable and ultimately vile. So there's no surprise that each punch Jon Snow delivered to that smug bastard's face felt oh so good to watch. And the beautiful, horrifying irony of having his own bloodthirsty hounds rip him apart just as he's done to so many others was brutally satisfying. I think we all felt like Sansa in that moment. It was tough to watch, but we just couldn't look away. So those are my picks for the 6 best deaths of Season 6. If you've got any you think deserved a place on this list, then let us know in the comment section below, or tweet me at @IrregularDave. For more Game of Thrones features, make sure you subscribe to GameSpot.